All right. So thank you and welcome to our second call for tonight. Thanks everybody for joining us. For those of you who just joined us early on, my name is Carmen Lopez and I am the VP of North America for APLGO. And it's an honor for me to have you here tonight. We're going to be sharing with you this amazing new drop that we just launched. And I keep losing my file. Here we go. And Mary Esther is going to be joining us. Mary Esther is one of the field's most favorite people to be on this call. She has been educating the field for the last, I think since we launched, I don't know because I wasn't here, but ever since I've been here and before, she's been educating the field not only about our drops, but what the ingredients do for you, how to use them, and what it can do to benefit your health. So it's an honor for me to have her today with us. But before we get Mary Esther going, I want to share the video of our new product, LFT.
Life is the most valuable thing we have. We cannot gain immortality, but it is within our power to affect the aging process and stay young and healthy as long as possible. To be more precise, the new innovative product of the Accumulate Essay Series, LFT, Lifetime, is able to do this. Why do we age? Telomeres are sections of DNA located at the ends of chromosomes. When cells divide, telomeres shorten, and cells can no longer divide and age. LFT's innovative lozenge drops provide every cell in the body with essential nutrients to promote overall health and longevity. Lifetime stimulates metabolism and youthful appearance, has a pronounced antioxidant effect, neutralizes free radicals and protects the body from oxidative stress, promotes wellness at the cellular level, helps to support the body's recovery after illness. The composition of Lifetime is made to support your health and wellness. With Lifetime, I am vigorous and I know that there are many happy years ahead.
Stop and cut.
Dad, you're looking good. I'm proud of you. Lifetime, for your health and longevity.
Well, I expect everybody
Life is
to be doing push-ups like that when you're done taking your LFT, okay? Pull-ups and push-ups. So anyways, before I bring on Mary Esther, so the benefits from LFT supports a youthful appearance through a balanced micronutrients composition, promotes wellness at the cellular level, contains ingredients like ginger and Siberian larch that supports metabolism and cell renewal, contributes to telomere health, supporting normal cell division, provides antioxidant properties that help neutralize free radicals and protect against oxidative stress, supports the body's natural recovery process after illness, and it helps reduce feelings of fatigue and supports energy levels. Sorry, my screen was covered. So again, this is our 19th drop. It sells for wholesale at $60 and it's available at our warehouse. We got plenty of LFT. So with any further ado, I'm gonna give the floor to Mary Esther, and I'm gonna give you the screen in case you need to share anything, Mary Esther, and I'm gonna start recording as well. All in one. I can do all that in one time. Anyways, Mary Esther, are you on?
I am here. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Doing great. Really excited to share this information with everyone.
Awesome. Well, take it away, Mary Esther.
Okay, here we go. Boy, have I got something for you guys. I was digging into the scientific literature all week long, loving every minute, but yeah, I didn't do anything else other than sleep and eat. So I just can't wait to share everything that I found out about these telomeres. So basically, I understand we're going to be talking about anti-aging, right, Carmen?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All righty. So let me go ahead and maximize this. Now I'm going to kind of start out by showing you the monograph that I created for all of the products. And this is something you would find in like the APLGO book, but this will be uploaded to my website and everyone can download this for free. Okay. So I'm just going to scroll through so you can see all of the science, all the ingredients, but I'm not going to be reading off this document. Otherwise, we'd be here for 3 hours. So I kind of condensed everything so that we could fit it into a much, better time period here. But as you can see, there are beautiful pictures of these botanicals and lots and lots of scientific references. So yeah, it's a fast read, really, because I define terms as I go. But I love just showing the pictures so everyone knows what the botanicals look like. So there's the pomegranate. Made me want to, I just went out and bought a couple of pomegranates and I was just like, eating the pomegranate. Oh man, they look so good. All right, so then, boy, talk about the phytonutrient complexes in the pomegranate. One of the research documents that I looked at actually had this whole table listing all of the phytonutrient compounds in this particular botanical. As you can see, you've got all these classifications and subclassifications and micromolecules that scientists have been examining from these botanicals and what they actually do in the body. So I thought you might want to take a look at what you're putting into your body, all of these wonderful, wonderful, highly compatible molecules that your body will use for, just maintaining every body system at the microcell level and just protecting your health. So these are all the different compounds. I wish I could have found such a table for the other botanicals, but in the book, of course, I did create a database on the botanicals that are in these the phytonutrient compounds that are in the botanicals. So it looks like I'll be adding to that database already. So here's the resveratrol and the grapes, and I'll be covering all of these in a little bit more in depth as far as what the nutrient compounds do in the body, but it's going to be a lot more condensed rather than just reading off of these off this document. But I just wanted to show everyone, and look at all of the science that I pulled out. It's just incredible. And it just keeps going and going. And of course, like I said, you can download this printed version of this document at my website, holisticchoices.com. And I will provide this link later on in the call so that everyone can access the book, the sales tool, right? And the educational tool that gives everyone so much confidence, so much more credibility in their APLGO businesses. So I just wanted to show everybody that one. And let me pull up the other document that I created. And here's my, typical at a glance kind of chart. And again, it would take me too long to just read out all of the individual health attributes in the different body systems, but this is a great tool that you can at a glance take a look at and see which body system these botanicals, these nutrient compounds in these botanicals do for the body. So as you can see, you can download this one too. I'll put this up on the website, but I made an even more condensed version of this so that we could cover only what the LFT applies to. So here we go. So, I made them a nice bright Christmas colors this time. I know Thanksgiving is not here yet, but to me, it's already Christmas time. Alrighty, so here's the brain and nervous system, and here are all the botanicals. So as you can see in the X's here, you can just kind of glance around, and the black pepper has compounds that can address the neuromuscular problems that people might have to nourish those nervous system and those neural pathways and address all these different nerve disorders, which 99% of the time it's because of a nutrient deficiency, especially over time, and especially if one is under a lot of stress, kind of thing. So there's a lot of factors that contribute to the shortening of the telomeres. So we're going to cover the telomeres in a few moments, and I think you'll be pretty excited about what you'll see. So also, it enhances the brain. If it's going to affect the nerves, it's going to affect the brain. So these compounds actually have been found to enhance intellectual development, cognition, prevent memory impairments, improve learning. So, all around better memory. And then the red, let's see, I skipped one here. Okay, the pomegranate and the black pepper have those attributes. So then the red grape has more brain efficacy, enhances the intellectual development of a person and cognition, prevents memory impairments. Again, the same exact thing, right? All right, so they're different compounds though, and there's a synergy that comes together when people take the drop. Also over here is turmeric, also known for enhancing the brain. And then we have the ability to reduce the lipids. So if someone is on a high-fat diet and at risk for, cardiovascular problems, then the rosemary leaf has been known to reduce reduce the lipids in the blood, and also to prevent the free radical oxidative process that can disrupt brain functioning as well. So it's a great antioxidant. Then we have also neuroprotective, anti-neuroinflammatory attributes in the Siberian Siberian larch bark. And then we have, aspects that actually have been found to protect against dementia, Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative disorders. And these are all nutrients. We're not medical doctors. We're not prescribing. We are just nourishing the body and providing the body with the exact molecules it's looking for to make all of the necessary repairs to make the cell function optimally. So we've got Siberian larch bark to protect against those kinds of problems. Of course, if there's any trauma to the nervous system, the Siberian larch bark is great for that. And then we have, it also helps attenuate excessive stimulation of nerve cell receptors from stress. So any kind of stressor, whether it's physical stress, trauma, injury, psychological trauma, prolonged stress that can actually make your body produce all of these stress chemicals that are this cascade effect for destroying how your body handles, how you as a person handles your stress. So it takes its toll in the body. So the Siberian larch bark is very good for protecting the body against degeneration from those kinds of biochemical inflammatory things that cause stress in the body. So it also helps attenuate excessive stimulation of nerve cell receptors from these stressors. So it just works on your nervous system at the microcell level to make sure all of the processes are working calmly and correctly and preventing a lot of the stress chemicals from interfering the functioning of your brain and your nervous system. So then we've got the turmeric is so great for so many things, but it's effective in preventing the shrinking of the brain's hippocampus, affecting learning and memory as well. Alertness and attention span, the turmeric has been found to alleviate those kinds of things as well. So then we move on to the cardiovascular system. And anything that's good for the nervous system is bound to be good for the heart. So everything is connected, but the nervous system is very, very much in tune with what's happening in the heart and the blood vessels. So we've got an anti-atherosclerotic of preventing the hardening of the arteries or clogged heart vessels with the black pepper and the red grapes, as well as the rosemary leaf and the turmeric. And it also protects capillary and blood vessel strength, permeability. So the idea is to make sure that your blood vessels are youthful. They're not drying up and becoming rigid and easily broken and damaged. So you want nice, strong, flexible capillaries and blood vessels to push the blood through and to make sure that you're absorbing the nutrients through the blood vessel walls and pushing all those nutrients throughout the body. So then the milk thistle is good for that. That has a lot of attributes for that. So then we have ways to reduce the lipid peroxidation in the heart, another antioxidant, which is in the rosemary leaf and the Siberian larch bark. And also we've got, of course, anything that's going to reduce stress is also going to reduce the free radical effect of stress, physical or emotional. These biochemicals that your body produces under stress will be attenuated. And once you are highly nourished like this, then there's no need to overreact or to be easily damaged, whether it's physically or emotionally. So we've got improves the circulation. It reduces the risk of heart attack, angina, or stroke. So we've got these wonderful attributes for let's go back up a little bit, the rosemary and the turmeric. Lowers lipid, triglycerides and fats that are circulating in the blood, the lipoproteins, the proteins that attach themselves to fatty acids and circulate around, cholesterol, triglycerides, all these are different types of lipids that once you digest fats in the diet, they circulate in the body and the body decides where to distribute, where they're needed for maintaining your structures of your cells. So this is going to be the Siberian larchbark. Once again, I'd never even heard of Siberian larchbark. Have anyone else? I never worked with the botanical, but I was so impressed by the science. It's so amazing how much science has been put into, discovering what these botanicals do for the body. So decreases cholesterol, triglycerides, and increases the antioxidant capability of your cells. So that was going to be attributed to the spirulina. All righty, so let's move on to the digestive system. We've got liver detoxification. It's great for hangovers, reducing fat in the liver so that the circulatory system in the liver can produce all of the right hormones and enzymes and stay clear so that it doesn't become clogged up and cause all kinds of toxicity problems. So we've got, let's see, for liver detox, we've got the black pepper and the milk thistle, pomegranate, and rosemary leaf. All right, so then it also, let's see, the rosemary leaf has been known to any kind of abdominal pain, stomach pain, peptic ulcers, any kind of gastric upsets, then the rosemary leaf is very good for alleviating all of the pathways that might lead to this kind of condition. Also, it improves the microbiota in the gut and the prebiotic activities that happen. Don't forget about that gut-brain axis that we talked about a few calls ago. So we want to maintain that as well. Otherwise, if we don't maintain these biochemical pathways, then it's going to affect how youthful our cells behave. And if our cells are behaving youthfully, then you will prevent the aging process, or at least prolong it or drastically slow it down. Alrighty, so let's see, the microbiota would be the pomegranate and the spirulina. So that algae is extremely important for so many things having to do with the digestive system. So then also, if your liver is toxic, then you're going to need a little bit of detox, right? And that's going to be the rosemary leaf. And I keep losing my place. Maybe I should highlight it where I am. All right, here we go. Liver injuries. All right, here we go. So yeah, that would be the rosemary leaf. Impressive. Okay, then we've got tissue, protects against tissue destruction in the pancreas, and that would be the Siberian larchbark. It looks like they're going to win the Academy Award of the botanicals in this formulation. Okay, now we've got also probiotic activity. So anytime you put something in your body and it's got the right fiber, the right kinds of nutrients, then your body is going to maintain the right microbiota in the gut, which means the good bacteria that communicates with, between that highway, between your brain and your gut, to maintain all of the right biochemical processes and neurotransmissions and hormonal, everything is directed through that highway. So anything that we can put in the body that would allow us to nourish those positive, aerobic, loving bacteria that keep us healthy is always good. Protecting the liver functioning, and so that would be the turmeric, and used for irritable bowel also because of its antimicrobial action. All righty, so we're getting toward, wait till we get to the immune system. You guys are going to love this. All righty, so then we've got the endocrine, the glandular, the hormonal system. It's anti-obesity, which means it acts on the hormonal system and how your body utilizes fats. So that would be the pomegranate. and also acts as an antidepressant, not the way medical drugs do, but to nourish the nervous system, to balance the communication pathways between the hormonal system, the nervous system, and the gut-brain axis. Of course, it's going to help your body regulate how you utilize fats. It's all intertwined, related. And so that's going to be the pomegranate. Okay, so see which one was this one? This one was the rosemary leaf as well, rosemary and the turmeric. Great. Alrighty. So immune system. Now here we are getting into the how the body handles stress, right? The kinds of neural pathways and biochemical pathways that happen that can protect your DNA or damage your DNA. So in that DNA, we've got those chromosomes, and with the end caps that are the telomeres. So pretty soon we're going to be talking a lot about that. All right, so then we've got the immune system. It's here's an antioxidant, anti-free radical, supports the body's production of its own antioxidant, which is superoxide dismutase. It's an enzyme that sends off a chain reaction of biochemical events that prevent the body from degenerating from any kind of stress. So being able to handle stress when you're highly nourished is very important. So that would be the black pepper and I think I can read off of the bottom one here. That would be the pomegranate and the red grapes, the Siberian larchbark, and the turmeric. All right, so that would be a lot here for this. Anti-cancer, anti-tumor, anti-proliferative, anti-mutagenic, meaning it doesn't allow any mutations to happen in the DNA. So anything that's precancerous, we want to nip it in the bud by high nourishment, just to detoxify and provide the correct information in the DNA so that your cells can replicate properly and not, go by way of any kind of mutagenic replications. So that would be the black pepper, the Japanese knotweed, and the pomegranate, the red grapes, rosemary leaf, and Siberian larchbark, and the turmeric. So all of these botanicals contain many, many different types of nutrient compounds that assist in the body's immune system to recognize anything that's going wrong and immediately act to stop it. All right, so more on the immune system here. Anti-inflammatory, inhibits free radicals. So the reactive oxygen species is a kind of response to inflammation and any kind of stressor in the body, whether it is synthetic chemicals that are disrupting how the body operates, or anything that's damaging the DNA. So if you're injured, any kind of, there's so many different ways to injure our DNA. So we have to make sure that our body has the ability to repair and make sure that everything is repaired correctly, so that genetic code in the DNA is not interfered with. So your cells are replicating all the time, right? And so we want to make sure we are transferring correct information from the mother cell of the DNA to the daughter cells. So we've got the black pepper, milk thistle, pomegranate, red grapes, rosemary leaf, Siberian larchbark, all across the board. So we're going to see more X's here in the immune system area. So antioxidant, here's a superoxide dismutase. It helps your body, these botanicals here help your bodies produce the SOD. And it also helps to ingest the wonderful many, many antioxidant compounds in these botanicals. Reduces oxidative stressors, so that would be the opposite of building a molecule using oxygen. Of course, we need oxygen, but when it's under stress, then there's a degenerative process that also uses oxygen, and that's the oxidative process, a down regulation rather than an up regulation. So then we've got the black pepper and the rosemary leaf for that. Then we've got also the different attributes in these plants that chelate toxic metals like lead, all those other environmental toxic metals that are extremely hazardous to our health. So it helps bind molecularly to these toxic metals so that the body can get rid of them. Otherwise, they're going to be stuck in the body somewhere, and your body's going to try to utilize them somehow. And in the process, it's going to do a lot of damage. So here we go across the board a little bit with the milk thistle, the pomegranate, and the red grapes. Now we've got an anti-allergies aspect, so it helps your immune cells be more intelligent. So the more nourished they are, the better their gene sequences are, so that the better the operation instructions are there to recognize what should be there, or in the case of an autoimmune system, the immune cells don't understand what's going on, so they attack anything. And that's not a good thing either. So we've got to provide the molecules from these botanicals, these phytonutrient compounds, that will help correct all of those mistakes that happen during the cell replication process. Alrighty, so then we've got the cell membranes. We have to maintain those cell membranes to allow nutrients to pass through the cell and enter the inside of the cell where the energy production is going on, the detoxification, communications are going on, building new proteins, starting the separation of the chromosomes to form new cells as they start separating out into separate cells. So all of that needs a lot of this kind of help, right? So we've got so yeah, the membranes are very important. They have to be flexible and pliable, and all of the information at those cell receptor sites have to be correct as well. All of this information. Isn't that amazing how our body is so intricate? And all we have to do, like I always say, like a broken record, all we have to do is nourish it, and these drops give you so much of this ideal information that your body can use to correct these kinds of things and prevent a lot of these horrible problems. So it protects the DNA against damage. Cytotoxicity means there's something toxic in the body or something that's causing the disruption of its operation inside our cells. So, that's cytotoxicity. We can apply cytotoxicity, that term, to cancer cells as well. If you have a nutrient compound that is going to confuse the DNA of a cancer cell or a tumor, then that's also called cytotoxicity. And it can also, these phytonutrients have also been found to lead the cancer cell down toward its own self-destruction, called apoptosis. So that would be the pomegranate, red grapes, rosemary leaf, and the turmeric. Okay, anti-inflammatory, we'll see that a lot. Helps reduce bleeding, aids in wound healing. So that would be the pomegranate. Amazing. Alrighty, then we've got protects and helps maintain the telomere length in the DNA. I can't wait till we get into that part of our evening here. So that would be the red grapes, and all the way down the line, the next few things is going to be the red grapes and the rosemary leaf a couple of times. So let's go through this here. All right, so then we've got how our body can modulate the inflammatory proteins. So anytime there is a stressor going on in the body, then your body will produce many different stress chemicals. One of them is the cytokine protein. It's it's more like a hormone. So it will signal the cells to produce inflammation or be in an inflammatory environment. If you're injured, then a certain amount of inflammation is good. But if you have a chronic condition going on that's creating this inflammatory protein, then it's going to be very, very damaging. And that would be, again, the the grapes. We're doing grapes on this one. Okay, inhibits programmed cell death under injury conditions, and metal detoxification, protects against toxic metals, chemopreventive, which means it lowers cancer risk, improves levels of white blood cells, which is the immune cells, helps heal wounds, protects against toxic metal reproductive harm, toxic metal chelation and detoxification. That's the binding to the toxic metal and allowing your body to eliminate it safely. Aids in autoimmune disorders. And again, like I said, we're not medical doctors, but if you nourish the body, then it can address a lot of these cellular damages that are done at the DNA level, and that would be the Siberian larch bark. Once again, as well as protecting against toxic metal, I said that, reproductive harm. Okay. Immunostimulatory, it mobilizes your natural killer immune cells. Our immune cells are bad dudes, right? They can go in and they can destroy just about anything. They're smaller than, say, a cancer cell. They have this vast job to do to eliminate toxins out of the body. They're constantly circulating and looking for something to destroy, right? So making sure that our DNA can recognize what to destroy and what not to destroy, like I said earlier, in an autoimmune system or autoimmune problem, then this is going to be very, very valuable for helping your immune cells to understand what to do. Siberian larchbark for that one. Protects against toxic metal reproductive harm. I said that already. Immunostimulatory, mobilizes natural killer immune cells. I said that already too. Okay, aids immune cells in neutralizing the free radicals, protecting the DNA. That would be the turmeric. Cellular repair, replication, maintaining gene quality, anti-aging. That would be the turmeric. Now, again, don't forget these are highly summarized, attributes that are going to be much more in depth in the chart that you saw above, and even more so in the monograph. Anti-leukemia prevents its development. So that is that's something I think that the medical community should take a look at, right? So then we've got, the minor things like the skin, although it's certainly not minor, it's the largest organ in the body. Let's see, let's take a look at these two. We are in the milk thistle and pomegranate here. So we have these compounds in these botanicals that will protect us from too much solar radiation, ultraviolet rays that do so much damage to the skin. If your skin is, if your cells in your skin are highly nourished and they are harboring a lot of the nutrient biochemical compounds that are in the drops, that are in the botanicals, then your cells will be protected. They'll be less likely to be damaged. The sun is good for you, but those who are not nourished enough are going to experience a lot of the oxidation that occurs. Okay, so that would be the milk thistle and the pomegranate. No, excuse me, the red grape. So now we've got supporting the skin cell structures at the microcell level, collagen, elastin, hyaluronic acid, all help to prevent wrinkles. I know the cosmetic industry uses hyaluronic acid a bit in their formulations, but when you want to prevent wrinkles and have good skin, you've got to nourish from the inside out. And I'm sure you all know that by now. Red grapes, okay. Anti-aging, that's kind of redundant. Counters damage of reactive oxygen species causing the photo damage, which is called photoaging, which can lead to skin cancers, and improves the skin microbiome. Our skin has many, many beneficial organisms just sitting there on the surface, living, in symbiosis with us. So in balance with us. If you ever saw microscopic photos of them, you would freak out. They look like monsters, but they're actually very good for us. We live in synergy with them. All right, so then we've got the reproductive system, which enhances the libido. And I believe that is the pomegranate, yes. So that's in the power lemon, isn't it? All righty, so then we've got purifies reproductive organs. So we've got to maintain healthy reproductive organs so we aren't harboring any of the toxic chemicals that can infect a baby, that can infect the fetus, growing fetus in the mother. And also it purifies reproductive organs. Sorry, that was the turmeric. And then we've got a little bit of something for the respiratory system. It protects the lungs against respiratory infections, meaning it's antimicrobial. So that would be the Japanese knotweed, the Siberian larchbark, and the turmeric. So I wanted to I went through the monograph and I wanted to show you just real quick what phytochemical compounds are in each of these botanicals. A lot of these are in my database in the APLGO book that you can find out how they help in the body. All of these attributes that I pointed out up here, it's all of these compounds that are at work. All right, so, you can just go ahead and print this out and have fun pronouncing these terms. It's taken me a long time to pronounce them correctly. But yeah, these are all the different compounds that are in, and I'm surprised I didn't, well, yeah, I had to list, remember that huge list that the pomegranate had up in the monograph. So I just listed the major, ones, the major classifications, but all those sub-classifications are in the monograph. Okay, so how are we doing so far, Carmen? We're going to get into the telomeres now. All good? Okay. How's everybody else doing? Everybody okay?
We're doing
Having
good.
fun?
The red grapes seem to be doing amazing things for the body. So is that why the doctor recommends 1 glass of red wine a day? I'm just kidding about that.
It's funny because the French are known for their good health, and they drink a lot, but they also drink a lot of wines, red wines. I don't know any other alcohol that they do drink, but historically their diets have been very healthy as well. So they're highly nourished, so they can handle the alcohol, I suppose. I don't know, but I wouldn't try it at home. I don't recommend drinking that much, but just eat the grapes. It's so much better for you. Okay, so here's the exciting part. So telomeres are the specific DNA proteins that reside at both ends of the chromosome. These end caps right here are a lot of genetic code, right? Certain kinds of DNA that sit there that protect the rest of the chromosome. So there are certain lengths, when we're super healthy and youthful and young, and we haven't experienced a lot of life stress and a lot of degenerative effects of the environment, that kind of thing. So they do start shrinking over time, but there's a way to prevent that. And you'll see how exciting, why I love this LFT so much. So anyhow, it protects that genome from damage, and it keeps them from fusing with other DNA molecules. Here's an actual photo of all these different chromosomes that are sitting in this fluid in the nucleus, so that they're ready to go, ready to do their job and ready to communicate. So, yeah, this is preventing the loss of genetic information. And I'm going to enlarge this a little bit because it's hard to fit everything in here. Oops, I moved the picture, didn't I? I'm doing this with my fingers. Okay, all right, so here we have 3 billion base pairs of genes on the DNA double helix. So right here, you're seeing an enlargement of what's happening, and so we've got the total possible combination of these genes in humans is approximately 70 trillion, 368 billion, 744 million, 177,664 genes right here in the DNA. Okay, and this is just on the end caps, right? So we've got a lot going on as well. All right, so then we've got the double-stranded DNA, and as the cell is replicating, it's going to, undergo this mitosis. I think it's better if I show you down here. So these things start separating out. You've seen pictures of the cell replication process where these looks like ropes that are just being pulled apart, right? So when that happens, then a lot of things can go wrong at the genetic code here. So, another reason to be aware of what's going on. Okay. All right. So then we've got this enzyme called telomerase, and it's the key to maintaining the proper lengths of the telomeres. And under oxidative stress conditions, they can undergo that shortening process and loss of the genomic information during the cell replication process. Like I mentioned earlier, when it's starting to replicate, you want to pass on the right genetic code to the daughter cells. And if something goes wrong or something is disrupted, then it's going to shorten the telomeres. But there's a process that the body has to keep this in check. So if this enzyme just keeps going and starts reacting under oxidative stress conditions, then it's going to continue to shorten the telomeres, and also the cell will be led to its destruction. So it'll become senile, or senescence as they call it, and it'll eventually undergo the apoptosis process, and it will be an aged cell, and it starts becoming to the point where it will be destroyed. The immune system will come in and say, okay, this guy's had it, so it takes it apart. And so yeah, so grape is very good for maintaining telomere length, as well as the others that we mentioned here. So When the telomere shortening happens, it's just the result of the cascade of oxidative events that damage our cells and impair the ability to replicate and repair and regenerate themselves, leading to that cell senescence or cell death. And that causes premature aging of an individual. Eventually, you'll notice the aging process setting in. And that's just a natural, normal, progression. But it's when someone ages very, very rapidly, then you know that their telomeres are shortening. They're not able to protect the chromosome, and it's becoming, destroyed. So a lot of that genetic code is lost, the inability to replicate. So throughout life, as the body's cell perpetually continue to divide or replicate and replace the aged cells, if you're highly nourished, you're exercising, you're managing your stress, your cells will replicate pretty well for a very long time. So the aging process is prolonged. So we've got these protective telomeres, the end caps of the chromosome. So to prevent that from shortening, here's a picture of the chromosomes, right? And they've got these cute little pictures of the end caps of the chromosome. So as the cell is reproducing, actually a cell is known to reproduce about 40 to 60 times. And this is one of our multiple trillions of cells. So it's not like they're all going to do that all at once. It's going on all the time. But these small amounts of gene sequences at the end of the DNA are lost each time the cell divides. And when the duplication process reaches its replicative potential limit, it's known as the Hayflick limit. So a scientist named Mr. Hayflick discovered this about it. So that's why it's called that. All right, so now rosemary has very good ways to help the body mediate how the telomere suppresses, is suppressed. So it's called the TERF1 is that particular protein. There's actually many proteins labeled TERF, but rosemary in particular was studied. And so it gives us a little snapshot of how this process occurs. So the essential oils on the rosemary leaf have been shown to have telomere protective effects through the mediation of this TRF1, telomere suppressive protein. So the mediation of this protein is critical because when the cells become cancerous and they begin to proliferate, then the immune system has to step in and monitor this. So a cell senescence can be prevented through all these actions of the telomerase protein RNA complex that allows the chromosome telomere ends to be replicated without losing the correct genetic sequences and thereby maintaining the longer telomere length. So, these proteins and these enzymes must work together and communicate so that they know when to stop this process, like when a cancer cell is replicating, or when they can allow to continue the process to continue to produce the telomeres that are in proper length. So as an aside, the stem cells that we produce are responsible for replacing the cells that necessarily have to express the telomerase enzyme, but they're not imposed on by the replicative limit, like the other eukaryotic cells that we have that are governed by how the DNA, information is giving instructions. So by contrast, and in maintaining necessary balance and accurate gene transcriptions during the cell replication, TRF1 as part of the telomere protein complex is critical to maintain those telomere lengths in healthy cells while inhibiting that telomerase enzyme that attenuates or controls the elongation of the telomere chromosome ends. And here's a nice little picture to give you a better idea of what's really going on. So here's the TRF1 that's attenuating whether these telomeres are going to remain long enough to function optimally, or if it's a cancer cell, then it will mediate what goes on here and continue or prevent the cancer cell from forming nice long telomeres so it can proliferate, right? So we don't want that in a cancer cell. So it depends on what the conditions are. We have to provide our bodies with the right molecules from these wonderful botanicals that have been found to help attenuate that and recognize whether it should allow that cell to continue to maintain its telomere, which is the communicative, section of how the DNA is going to behave. or if it's just going to, stop it, whether it's allowing it or stopping it. So our immune system has to recognize whether a cell is healthy or not, and to stop the cancer cell process. So here's some more information, just a little bit more. Telomerase enzyme activation can be activated of cancer as tumor cells reveal their limitless replicative potential when those telomeres in those gene expressions begin to replicate and elongate. So I just kind of explained that. The TRF protein can act to inhibit the telomere lengthening by blocking the cell binding sites for telomerase, which is right over here. However, as more binding sites for TRF1 are formed due to the action of that telomerase enzyme, a threshold is reached where the telomerase can no longer be effective. So again, it's the monitoring and the allowing or disallowing that goes on. So as telomeres shorten, eventually that threshold cannot be met. Therefore, the telomerase can resume its binding and extending of the telomere chromosome ends to maintain telomere length equilibrium. So that in that case, if it's a healthy cell, then it goes ahead and goes back to work to communicate with that enzyme, with the telomeres, to allow those telomere length to obtain that equilibrium in their cell replication process, so it doesn't deteriorate. So there's other pathways of telomere erosion that are prolonged oxidative stress through inflammation or the presence of reactive oxygen species, which is generated by the body's production of stress chemicals. So again, the nourishment, if you're going to generate the reactive oxygen species under stress conditions, that kind of communication can put a stop to it. So we can protect our DNA, including those telomeric regions. Alrighty, so now, so rosemary leaf oils have also been shown in live cell cultures to counter the telomere shortening effects. So rosemary is also very great for reducing the presence of the free radical hydrogen peroxide, which is another free radical under stress that our bodies produce. But also the hydrogen peroxide is kind of present there all the time in the processes of all our biochemical processes, so it's going to be in there, and it's not going to stay there for very long. It's just something that goes from one transition to another. But in any case, it might cause some problems. So the rosemary is great for controlling that and protecting us from that. And then administering subtoxic doses of the rosemary has been confirmed in many research findings to increase the length of telomeres while protecting the cells against losing that telomeric DNA because of oxidative stress. So we've got the rosemary leaf, able to neutralize the ROS. And then the TRF1 is downregulated in the presence of rosemary leaf oils that allows the telomere length to be maintained without increasing the telomerase expression, which is great. And also it suggests that the oils can maintain that telomere length while preventing the cellular senescence without any cancer risk. So not only does it protect the cell from becoming mutagenic, but it also helps maintain that telomere length without interrupting too much with that process. So our bodies know exactly how to read these molecules from these botanicals to utilize them for exactly what it needs to do. The turmeric has anti-tumor effects, which is found in the curcumin and the turmeric. And so again, it's all about how cancer is upregulated or downregulated. So we want to make sure they're always going to downregulate it and help the immune system eliminate, before it starts replicating and proliferating in the body. So yeah, the curcumin in the turmeric is great for monitoring that enzyme, the telomerase, to inhibit the telomere shortening. So this is a very, very short video. If you're confused about what I just said, it's difficult to picture. And so a picture is worth 1,000 words. I found this cute little video. I'm not going to play it for you right now, but it's only like 10 minutes long. And I think it's either a professor at a junior college or a high school teacher. He's drawing everything out and showing in picture form how that all happens. Everything I just explained, he explains it, by visual. So if you want to take a look at the visual, then go ahead and click on that later on. So Carmen, you asked me to also see if we can combine the LFT with other drops. And this is what I found. I just went through all of the monographs in the book, and I found that for fat, cholesterol, glucose, sugar metabolism, we can combine the HRT and the PFT. You know, they help us with that system, and the LFT certainly has a lot of attributes for that. And then also I found that it can be combined with HRT and ALT for cardiovascular and circulatory health, and the AIR and ALT for respiratory health, anything having to do with the lungs, and the AIR and MLS for biochemical balance or homeostasis, just making sure all systems are clear, all systems are nourished, all systems are not reacting to any kind of stress, and to attenuate stress. All those wonderful things are in these two formulations together with the LFT. And then we have the GTS, you know, for antioxidants and producing energy in the mitochondria. You know, the LFT would certainly be a great pair with that. And ICE for digestive health. And the BTY, the beauty for protecting your skin cell structures, and anti-aging, keeping, you know, making sure that those telomeres are well maintained, even with what's in the BTY. And for the brain, for protecting the nervous system. And also, you know, since it applies with the glandular system, then we can certainly pair it with the Power Apricot and Power Lemon to optimize the reproductive system and to optimize libido, you know, keep you young, and the Grow, of course, for immune health. And the Happy and RLX with the LFT would be great for elevating mood, reducing the stress reactions in the body, just handling stress so much calmer and so much more rationally, making better life decisions, etc. So then we've got the HEPR and the MLS together with the LFT. That would be great for cleansing, purifying toxins, you know, reducing stress reactions from toxicity. And then we've got the Slide and the Stop with the LFT for managing pain and inflammation. So that's what I found, Carmen.
That's amazing. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I've learned a lot today. And obviously that red grapes and pomegranate are great ingredients, as well as all the other ones. But it just looked from your list that they have the most benefits, was the red grapes and the pomegranate, as well as that turmeric.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really fun to really just put it all together, you know, so that people can have something at a glance. And there are so many more benefits to these botanicals, as you all know. So I put everything from the monograph into this quick reference chart as well. People seem to really like the quick reference charts,
Yeah.
especially when, you know, you're selling the drops or you're explaining to someone, you know, the health benefits and all that. But yeah, if you go back to let's see, the monograph, you know, then you're going to have even more in-depth information and the scientific references that if you want to do a deep dive into that. So that's going to be a great sales tool for everyone, an educational tool. You know, if you focus on helping someone, then the money will come, right? And so I love being able to provide this irrefutable scientific data so that no one can object. You know, what can they object to, really?
Can you
So
put
anyhow,
in your information about your website and your books, so those that are brand new can learn where to find this information? And I thank you so much for putting all these grades together and the information together. It's very concise, and it's, for me personally, because I'm not a scientist, it's just an easier way for me. Somebody says, well, does it help with this? Does it help with that? Like, yes, these are all the things this product will help you with. And then the one that you did
absolutely.
combining, right? Combining another product, that's what we call cross selling. So it'll give
Yeah.
you more bonuses for you who are trying to earn money, but also will help people with the different needs that they might have in their health,
Oh,
and
yeah.
wellness
Oh,
journey.
absolutely. I'm just putting in the links for everybody right now.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask if you guys have any questions. We still have some time. If you guys have a couple of questions that you want to ask Mary Esther that she can answer, put it on the
Absolutely.
chat. Yeah. No
Please ask.
questions. I'm
They're
surprised that there's
fun.
no questions.
If you're not confused.
Evan, you have a question.
Thanks, Nancy and Bob.
Evan? Oh, you can't unmute yourself? Okay. Sorry.
No worries. Thank you. I know it takes a lot of work to do it, and I'm sure a lot of people are asking, but when do you think the new drop might find its way, at least into the ebook?
Oh my. Well, I just published the second edition. I can publish the third edition with that one, you know, the monograph in it if you all want. I could do that. But then the people that just bought the second edition would be kind of mad. But that's why, you know, I'm going to upload it to the website, and you can download it, you know, and just stick it in your book if you want in the meantime, because there's are bound to be more drops in the future. So, you know, I don't want to have everyone be cheated out of the third edition for that one monograph when they can just download it on the website.
That would be great. Thank you. Nancy and Bob, you have a question?
Yeah, two. One of them was, yeah, I assume you're going to put it in the online version for downloadable.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the ebook. You mean the book itself, or the monograph?
Yeah, not in hard copy, but in an online version.
So you're talking about the monograph, though?
We don't know what monograph means. Sorry.
Oh, okay. It's that document I showed you when I compiled all of the you know, all the scientific data for each botanical. That's called a scientific monograph.
Okay, excellent. And then the other question was that it seems that it enhances all the drops that we have, and we're experimenting with the pendant we've got, and that seems to enhance the drops also. Is it? So this seems like a triple threat, where the trifecta of, you know, like someone put up grow and the LFT will grow in the LFT, and the pendant might turn out to be a really trifecta for everybody's immune system.
I love that word, trifecta. Absolutely, Bob. Absolutely. Yeah, we've got a lot of negatively charged ions that are going on in the drops to aid in the preventing that oxidative process under stress conditions. So we've got live, viable, you know, drops, and then also with the light energy frequencies that are in these pendants definitely will go through your body and neutralize, you know, a lot of this oxidative stress in the body as well. Absolutely.
Now, one more. You always said if you could take one drop, it would be MLS. Has that changed? Is it now LFT?
Yeah, I don't answer that way anymore because all the drops are fantastic and it's too hard to pick one. You know, you have to just go through the information and decide what's best for your situation. You know, health problems are complex, and it takes many years to arrive at a health condition. You know, I'm going to go ahead and stop the share so we can see each other better. So yeah, I mean, the body is so complex, and to always nourish it and give it a variety of nutrients is always the best thing to do, because it will utilize everything. The drops are so utilizable. They're 100% utilizable. And you can't really say that about any other supplement in the world, not even a food. Of course, healthy food is very important for the body too. But the drops are so amazing that way to provide you with everything you need.
Thank you. That's outstanding. Thank you. You do a great job.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Bob,
It's my
and
pleasure.
yes. Any other question? We still have a few more minutes.
That's right, Ruth. Everyone's different. Every person's different. The needs are different.
No other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Mary Esther,
Yes.
is there anything special or any one drop that would be good for kidney ailments?
I would say the heifer, because it does a great job of clearing the microcirculatory pathways of all the organs, not just the liver. So that would be one thing that pops out. You know, the slide would also be good because it helps reduce any kind of inflammatory, you know, thing going on in the body. Gosh, they all do. I mean, these botanicals are what they call pan-systemic. There's so many great different aspects of what they do in the body. You can't go wrong with these drops, even if you choose some formulation that you have no idea what's going on. You know, you can just go ahead and pick it and know that your body's going to utilize what it sees and what it feels in there. But yeah, kidneys are all about blood pressure. So you have to maintain the proper amount of protein in your diet, animal-derived proteins, healthy animals, and also, of course, the vitamins and minerals and the water. All that has to be balanced in your diet every single day in order to help regulate the water that your kidneys, you know, are in charge of. So you don't want to to be too dehydrated or overhydrated, because that will affect the kidneys in a very negative way too. You either will have edema of swelling if you don't have enough protein in your diet. Protein is directly responsible for helping your body regulate how much water is retained in the body. So between your cells, if there's too much water in the body and your cells can't handle that excess water, it's going to spill over into the extracellular tissues and swell things up and clog up the function of the kidneys. There's a whole chain reaction that can happen if you're not aware of what the kidneys need to function properly. So yeah, pay attention to the diet, drink plenty of water, don't imbalance your minerals. Sodium and potassium work well together if they're in balance, but if you have one of the other too much, then if you have a lot of sodium in your diet, you're going to retain water. Potassium will help balance that out. It's a natural diuretic, so if you have low sodium in your diet, you're always going to be getting rid of your water that you need to hydrate your cells in your body. So there's a biochemical balance that has to be done there.
Okay, thank you.
You're
I was
welcome.
wondering if there is a supplement that's good for PCOS. My daughter suffers from that.
What's
Um,
PCOS? Remind me.
That's like when you get cysts, and you get I wish I don't know how to explain it, but it's incredibly painful when you get your menstrual cycle. And yeah, I don't know if you're looking it up right now. Maybe I could look it
I
up.
am. I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
apologize.
I know it's an
Articulate better.
abbreviation.
PCOS.
Polycystic
Yeah.
ovaries.
It's ovarian.
Oh, here we go.
PCOS.
She's
Okay, polycystic ovary syndrome.
yes.
Okay, yeah. So, all right. So when you have these kinds of abnormal growths, then your immune system is confused. Okay, you've got to nourish yourself and cut out all of the junk that confuses the DNA. Manage your stress. If you're highly nourished, you'll be able to manage your stress so much better. So get your body back in biochemical balance, and things like the fried foods, the heated oils, those are the culprits for disrupting the microcirculatory system, especially in the organ areas, especially in the reproductive areas. They affect the hormones. If your hormones are going to be blocked from their circulatory pathways in the glands, the endocrine system, then that's going to cause a problem. So the body chooses, what to do. And if it doesn't have the resources available at any certain point, it will start causing problems in whatever area is missing at that particular point in time. So always being nourished and always cutting out the foods that disrupt your circulatory pathways, like the heated oils. If you're eating heated oils, then cut them out immediately. If you use any oils at all, just try to stick with the whole plant foods, the walnuts and the nuts and seeds and the whole grains. Those contain the right types of fats that will help clear those pathways. So like dissolves like, so you've got to apply the different kinds of nourishment that would apply to whatever body system. So the hormones need the fatty acids. And so again, exercise, getting the microcirculation down to all areas of the body, and helping your body repair those tissues. The LFT will certainly help your body repair the tissues. MLS, another one, the slide also. And so I think that's one of the major ones that will help as well to do all the repair processes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're
All right,
welcome.
we have time for one more question, and I'm just reading it from the DNA Diva. I don't know where she went. Wait.
Yay, Deborah.
Yeah. The DNA, Patricia said, is there a regimen that would help get rid of or at least keep in check the junk in people's systems from taking the jab? You mean the COVID vaccine from 4 years ago? I'm assuming that's what you're asking.
Can you repeat that, please?
Is there a regime or regimen that would help get rid of or at least keep in check the junk in people's systems from taking the jab mandated 4 years ago?
Detox COVID.
Okay. So this is a corporate call, so we have to be careful. We have to protect the company, right? So what you want to do is continue the drop so that any kind of toxin that's still in the body can be eliminated over time. We don't know what kind of toxins were in that stuff, right? So we have to address a full range of nutrients and a wide range of phytonutrient compounds that are fortunately in these drops. So I would continue to try every single drop just so that the DNA can be corrected. Okay, provide the right molecules so that your DNA can receive the right genetic information to make any repairs that is done that way. I found that to be true over the years. When I had my practice for 30 years, my clients would come to me with all manner of ailments, and all I did was do the scientific research, right? Compile nutritional healing protocols for them, and they went through that program. They nourished their bodies, and lo and behold, they got well. You know, I developed this reputation for being able to fix anything when it was actually the body that was completely nourished that was doing this, especially the plant compounds. These are massive molecules as molecules go. We can't see them, they're so small, but everything's happening at the micro level. So when you receive these different, the DNA of the drops of every single one of these botanicals too, that genetic information, our DNA can read and recognize how to fix something. You know, it can be anywhere in the body system. So if you do that over time, you know, chances are things will get better, and hopefully, you know, it will alleviate whatever is going on.
There's no magic pill. Nutrition is always the most important thing, right? And we have
Always,
micronutrients in our drops, so it's always about nutrition. You know, I laugh because
always.
people say, I've been working out this many times a week, da da da. I'm like, but what are you eating? What are you putting in your body that will make a big difference in how your body feels and heals? So, and again,
I
I'm
know,
not a
Carmen.
doctor, but just from experience, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, when you work out, you are putting your body through a little bit of stress, but it's got that response that will allow you to get stronger if and only if you nourish your body completely and correctly. So give your body the proteins, the carbohydrates, the right types of fats, you know, rehydrate and cut out the junk. It's all pollution. You know, your body can't use that to get stronger for the next workout kind of thing. And even if it's just going for a walk, you'll be able to walk faster and farther, the better nourished you are. You know, even if you're confined to a wheelchair, whatever movements you can do is so much better than nothing, so much better. So yeah, it's extremely important to replenish nutritionally.
Okay.
Mary, I have a question for you.
We got time
Sure.
for one more and then we got to go, but go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you.
Hi, Chris.
Every night and, you know, in the mornings, I get asthma attacks. I've been taking air and alt. What else do you recommend for that? It's just like I have to take an inhaler to, you know, free myself up.
Yeah. So what state do you live in?
Arizona.
Arizona. We're up here in Mesa. Remember I
I
met
could have
you?
known that. I could, yeah, of course. I remember. That's why I said hi. So, all right. So Arizona has these tiny little dust particles. I lived in Northern California all my life. No, not all my life. For 20 years. It felt like all my life. I raised my family there. But when I moved back to Arizona, I started experiencing just feeling like I didn't get enough air. You know, I could run 10Ks and miles and go up and down hills in Northern California, but here it's a little bit more of an effort. And these dust particles, we've got the valley fever problem, right, in Arizona. But stubborn me, I kept running and I kept doing my hiking and, you know, cardiovascular work. But it's harder to breathe in Arizona, and it's a drier climate too. It dries out the mucous membranes and the lungs and everything. So, you know, just stay hydrated, you know, and make sure that your membranes in your lungs, your throat and your nose are moist, so that these particles don't embed themselves in the tissue. So Arizona, at least in the lower elevations, I'm in Tucson, so that's a little bit higher than Phoenix. But yeah, Arizona is a dust bowl, the worst dust bowl in the world. It's one of the highest allergy areas in the world, you know. And I moved from Northern California by San Francisco, which was one of the highest areas for allergens in the world as well. But Arizona is even more that way. So take care of your lungs, you know, make sure that your air quality in your home is great, right? Your air filters and all of that, and do everything you possibly can to protect your lungs.
Also taking Power Lemon, and I think now I'll start taking LFT as soon as I get it.
Yeah,
What
absolutely. And
about
air.
what about adding relax to relax my lungs so I don't get the attack at night?
So the nervous system has to communicate, so that a person can be less stressed, right? So that would be, the BRN certainly, and looking up some of the other botanicals and the other formulations. You can't go wrong with those either, but the BRN would definitely be one of those to work with the RLX, because you're not overstimulating your nervous system, you're nourishing it so that it can respond to stress better.
Thank you.
You're muted.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he was saying thank you. Well, thank you,
Yeah,
Mary
I
Esther.
was
Thank you
lip-reading.
so much. Love the information. Again, we record these calls, and the information that she gave you, it's available on her website as well. So make sure you check out her website. Thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Happy LFT selling. I know you guys are going to do great now that you have more knowledge about what it does and how it helps you. And I want to thank all of you for your support and for your attendance tonight. So thank you so much. Have a great Monday, and we'll see you soon.
There were 80.
Thank you, everyone. So great to see everybody. Bye-bye.
Awesome.
Thank you.